This week's episode is brought to you by... Actually, I have no advertiser this week. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Actually,
I have an advertisement.
Go for it.
I need to do a little introduction with this advertisement, if I may.
Oh boy, this should be great.
I got a level with you guys and all the listeners out there, all like 7 of them. I was the victim of a bullying attack this weekend.
Oh God.
And it hurt my feelings so much that I decided to do something about it. And I decided to make my own foundation. And I have a commercial for it right here.
Oh God.
Hello, everyone. I'm Johnny Blaze. You may know me from such shows as The Johnny Blaze Show and Hastly Kayfabed Recap. And I'm here to talk to you today about bullying. Bullying hurts other people's feelings, and it's not very nice to do. So what should we do in these times of need? Well, I have created a foundation just for you all. And it's called Be a Man, Motherfucker!
Oh, jeez.
That's right. Be a fucking man. Somebody bullies you, you punch him in the face. Be a man. Stand up for your goddamn self. Don't let them motherfuckers take you down. Stop crying, motherfucker. Get your ass up. Punch him in the face. Be a Man Foundation. Don't be a bully. Be an ass kicker.
Is this an affiliate of a Grow the Pair that was featured on WrestleCrap?
No, I was going to say, which Macho Man song did you rip off this time?
Oh, brother.
Welcome to the show, everyone. How you doing?
Even I appreciated that. Okay.
I did too.
And this is a fun tweet from Hideo Itami. I wonder who he's referencing in this tweet. I guess we'll never know. Guess we should get to the news, gentlemen.
Well, there's one bit of news I should get into.
Actually,
yes, you should.
Yeah, we were hoping you're around to talk about that. Are you speaking about the Tribune buyout?
Yeah. Basically, long story short, for those of you who don't know already, Sinclair Broadcasting Group is actually buying Tribune Broadcasting. So what that means, and that's huge for Ring of Honor, because what that means is now Ring of Honor at least has broadcast clearance or potential broadcast clearance on all 3 major markets, which is New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago.
Sweet. And what we mean by New York is the whole tri-state area.
Yeah, I forget the LA station, but I know they actually coming with Tribune, and this is another big thing, is WGN America, which is a local channel in Chicago as well. So potentially Ring of Honor can actually have a national cable deal where they'll never get thrown off because their parent company owns the network and the company a la WCW with Turner.
Well,
and also the fact of the matter that we could see wrestling come back to Channel 11 here in New York.
And alongside what happened last week with Billy Corgan buying the NWA, could this be another? Could this be a nail in the coffin for Impact Wrestling?
I think so, especially if Billy Corgan decides to work with Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I think
that would be awesome.
Because we don't know what he's going to do yet. We don't know which route he's going to take.
But this could be an interesting three-way. If done right, this could be an interesting three-way war between WWE, NWA, and ROH. They could work together and they could fight each other. Either way, the fans win.
Yeah, pretty much. But don't worry, Impact will go away pretty soon.
Yeah, especially if they keep fucking around with the Broken Universe, which they're trying to file new trademarks for. Surprise!
That's kind of interesting. They tried to file for the Broken Universe, which of course my response is, what? Why? But after watching something on Wrestle Talk, I think it makes a little more sense, particularly the way WWE is trying to handle stuff. The way WWE is trying to do it is they're basically trying to buy their way into the into the Broken Universe. Similar to the way they handle some other stuff. And as part of this, since Impact is seeing money on all of this, they of course want to take the deal. Well, as part of this, WWE is probably requesting the forms for the trademarks that were filed.
Which doesn't exist.
Which don't exist. So so Impact has to file. Now, this could mean one of two outcomes. Either one, Impact gets the trademarks and then they just get paid, or the courts will find out, someone else already did this first, and most likely it will be Matt Hardy. At which point, Impact can't do anything about it. WWE doesn't have to spend money, and they could just go on with the Broken Universe as they want.
Hell, they're already still teasing it.
Oh, they're teasing it up the wazoo right now. But right now, I think it's going to look good on that thing. So I think everyone, while it sounds ridiculous, I think it's a response to a WWE request to make sure that the paperwork is all in order. That's all.
That's all. We also like to congratulate the Bryan Danielson and Brie Bella on Healthy Baby Girl.
Why did they name her after a Street Fighter Alpha villain?
They actually did. Huh?
Which is actually pretty good because that baby came in late.
Yeah, that was after. It was that was after the 9 months, right?
Wow. That was 2 weeks late.
So everybody congratulate Birdie Danielson.
Yeah,
Birdie Joe Danielson.
Birdie Joe Danielson.
Okay.
They better not shorten that name to her initials, otherwise it's just not going to work.
DJ, which stands for never mind. Bulldog.
That sounded like a kid. That sounded like a kid show.
So I expect to say J.D. Bryan. So expect to see future women's champion J.D. Bryan in the next 20 years. Anyway.
I like DJ Bryan a little better, but
Anyway, we do have.
Well, then again, if this kid turns out to be like her aunt, she will be BJ Danielson.
Oh God!
Come on, both her father can wrestle and her mother's decent.
Brie Bella's father could wrestle.
I meant. We unfortunately have a trifecta.
Never mind.
We unfortunately have a trifecta of injuries. Emma might be injured on Raw.
By the way, we need to mention that this is again the curse of the European tour. Because for those of you people that are listening for the first time, the curse of the European tour is that every time WWE goes on tour in Europe, somebody either gets hurt, suspended, or even fired.
Damn.
So we usually take bets of what's going to happen to who.
Well, we should have taken bets last week then. Anyway, Emma's injured on Raw. We talked about this earlier. Ember Moon also was injured and will not be able to NXT TakeOver. And the worst one of all, the Strowman is getting elbow surgery.
Well, there goes Great Balls of Fire.
You mean there goes the entire reason to watch Raw for the next 4 to 6 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Roman Reigns' possible next opponent could be either Bray Wyatt or The Miz. I say Bray Wyatt. At least he beat the WWE champion. We all know if he faces The Miz, it'll literally be a squash match.
The only way that I want to see The Miz in the ring with Brock Lesnar is to see Miz die.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Miz is going to get killed if he gets in there, legitimately. Because Because if there's one thing Brock Lesnar hates, it's homosexuals.
Oh, fuck.
Like Reed Rambutt.
Oh, boy.
Or should I say rough and ready Reed Rambutt?
Oh, God. So, now, anything you want to talk about pro wrestling other than us crying over the fact that we no longer have the Strowman to make Raw entertaining because Raw sucked on Monday?
It did, and that's what I really hate about these shows, because the one reason I hate about these European tours is that they have to tape them, and you see them on the sites, and you automatically know what's going to happen, so it's like, what's the point of watching?
No, even if it's taped, it still was a bad show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like they don't move forward, which I don't understand why. They only do it when they're in home soil, but not overseas.
What are you about to say, John?
Nah, I was coughing, dude.
Oh.
Oh.
I think SmackDown was a little better, but I can't remember anything memorable.
I didn't even bother watching this week. I just read the spoilers.
Same here.
The only thing I've been watching was the network.
So, 11 minutes in. Good night. No, just kidding. I do have a backup I did have a backup topic because I knew this was dead, and hopefully one we could get into.
All right.
So, now this does mean that you and Will have to come up with another topic one day because this was technically supposed to be your month.
Yeah, but
And even their year, but that's another story for another day.
Anyway, I found an old magazine while going through some boxes, and this did bring me to an idea. Now, we all know that even the greatest heroes always have an amazing villain to complement them. There's no Superman without Lex Luthor. There's no Scrooge McDuck without Glomgold. There's no Gargoyles without Xantos. There's no Batman without the Joker, which I'm surprised Lou didn't jump in on already.
I was surprised you mentioned Glomgold. I don't think people in half the demographic that watch John Cena even know who Glomgold is.
Well, remember they're rebooting the show this year, so they'll know who he is soon enough.
Well, yeah, but at the moment, and to be fair, I gotta say, as much as I like David Tennant, no one can replace Alan Young.
Yeah.
But
so I found an old magazine. I'm actually holding a copy in my hand, and you see the spread cover on the screen right now, called "The 51 Worst Offenders of WWE History." It originally came out in 2006, but this gave me an idea. Let's just talk about the greatest villains, the greatest heels in the history of professional wrestling.
And like I said before we even started this suggestion, it's Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, than everybody else.
Well, for the people who can't see the cover, which is... Well, actually, all of you see it since I showed you a picture of it. You have Roddy Piper, Edge, Ric Flair, the McMahons, Mickey James, and the Iron Sheik. So give me a minute to reach over to the light switch, and I'll randomly pick a name out the hat. And see if we can add some new ones to it.
By the way,
huh?
By the way, a little bit of heads up for you listeners. This show's going to really suck this week, so if you got things to do, you might want to turn this off.
Hey.
Come on, man.
So we did all the wrestling we usually do in 10 minutes.
Come on, John. Stop being such a ham and egger.
Give me a second.
I know another word that ends with egger that I probably can't say on the air.
Oh, don't say it, please.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we're already not advertiser friendly as it is on YouTube. We don't need to add more.
This is the show. This is the show this week, kids. This is it. Me going through a 10-year-old.
That's if it wasn't. I make the show entertaining.
Me going through a 10-year-old magazine now.
Setting up to do that.
Now, of course, the number one they had on the list was Roddy Piper, which I don't think anyone's going to complain about.
How many times have I said if Hogan's Batman, Piper's the Joker?
Yeah, really.
Piper,
now,
remember before.
Here's one Lou's going to smile at. Number 19. Take Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig.
Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Oh, boy. It says, worst offense. On an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, Mr. Perfect, along with the Genius, attacked Hogan and stole the championship belt, then proceeded to smash with a hammer.
Which would
At
then
least he smashed it with a hammer. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, at which point the belt would show up maybe 15 years later on Mick Foley.
At least all he did was smash up the title belt. It's not like he made it into a fucking ghetto piece like fucking John Cena did.
Oh, the spinner belt.
Yeah, the spinner belt. My gosh, that should be on a villain case of itself. That's like the worst offender is that spinner belt. The fact it lasted so long.
Well, the world title spinner belt, the U.S. spinner belt was actually nice.
Yeah, the U.S. spinner belt was fine because that's a secondary belt. But this is the world title.
That Cena's name was directly engraved, so there had to be another champion there with the belt.
Oh yeah, looking at it now. Yeah.
You know what that just reminded me of?
What's that?
That one. Sorry, Lo, go ahead.
No, I just said the U.S. belt was nice.
I know Luce is gonna.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we really need to figure out a way like a buzzer or some shit. But I was gonna say, that Luce is gonna laugh at this, but that spinner belt just made me remember about the time where the belt changed hands like 3 times in one night. And even though Triple H only had the belt for 90 minutes, he insisted on having a name tag on the belt.
The wonderful pay-per-view that was No Mercy.
No wonder I get hematomas that grow on my head every time I play that game.
Oh, good. Hey, the game was nice.
I hit a person with 15 pedigrees and 30 million chair shots, and the guy kicks out at 2. And the guy kicks out at 2. His brain should be bleeding all over the floor with juices oozing out onto the mat, and he keeps getting up. He hits me with one finisher. The body is fine. I'm not even hurt. Boom, finisher's done. I'm down for the 3 count. I can't kick out.
So I'm guessing, Will, that he wouldn't want to spend. So you're gonna say that. You're gonna say that No Mercy.
We're recording, everyone.
No Mercy is not. You're gonna say that No Mercy is not worth your cash.
Which is really funny because I own the game. I don't know, how much is it these days?
No Mercy?
It's not be Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 instead.
There you go.
If the single player is nowhere near as bad as No Mercy's crazy ass bullshit that I've seen it pull off. Because don't get me wrong, the multiplayer is great, but you have to unlock everything through the single player, and that's the thing that pisses me off.
Lou unlocked everything through the single player.
Just do what I do and just buy the game with everything unlocked.
Well, if I remember
I bought it new.
If I remember how you beat the single player, Lou, you beat the game. In order to unlock everything, you have to have a flawless record. You beat the game with the worst character in the game, so you didn't have to face Triple H as the final boss.
Oh.
Because you face whoever is the champion, the final boss, and if you did fresh out the package, you had to face Triple H, which are not being the first time.
God damn it.
There's another one. Of course, the most recent Hall of Famer, the ravishing one himself, Rick Rude.
Yes.
By the way, the game, I'm checking eBay now. The game goes for anywhere from $15 to $18 loose.
That's actually not bad. Oh, that's not bad at all.
No. I have listed here for Amazon just because I just thought, let's just see what they have the prices here. And someone's trying to sell it new for $118.
Yeah, fuck that.
Because you got to remember, too, fucking Amazon overcharges for a lot of stuff on their sellers.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Because the sellers want their cut.
Yeah.
I forgot how much Amazon takes as a cut.
Yeah.
I am looking at an animated GIF or GIF, depending on how you feel, of the Big Show. Oh, so I'm sorry. This is WCW. The Giant in a large monster truck, and Hogan is trying to smack the side out of this door with his fists and hands, trying to get at the Giant.
Really?
And the Giant is laughing maniacally at him.
That was what, when he ran over Hogan's cycle or whatever the hell that was? Or he ran over Hogan's Hardly?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. How old was Hogan by this point?
Mid-50s. So here's one we could take right off this list. Randy Orton.
Yeah, fuck him.
You can't you can't tell what's Randy Orton anymore.
He was a heel by association because first they brought him in as a babyface because Orton, and then he got in with
Evolution. Now this is Evolution Orton they're talking about, but even if you add the other 10 years, I still don't see him as one of the top 50 villains of all time.
Yeah, well, the people who he shitted in their purses might disagree.
No, they wouldn't call him a top heel. They just call him a top asshole.
Yeah, ask Amy Weber.
Yeah, or Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
Literally.
By the way, I can't make this up. I know this has nothing to do with the show, but I'm going through my Facebook feed while I'm on the air.
Oh no!
White Cup who finds he has African ancestry, Sioux City in chief over racism.
What?
Yeah. Huh?
So I'm going to put Samoa Joe in Randy Orton's place here.
Because that would make sense, but he wasn't a WWE guy.
That's why I said we're replacing some of the people we're adding everybody here.
There you go.
Like, so if even they're wrestling today, we'll add them. There you go.
Okay. Keep going.
Let me see what else was on here. Well, of course, you need his daddy, Cowboy Bob Orton, on this list.
AKA Roddy Piper's bitch.
Yeah, I'd like to say, once again, not exactly a top 50 heel of all time.
Yeah, no.
I'd sooner put Arn Anderson to replace him.
And him wearing the pink cowboy hat when he was with Adrian Adonis. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, speaking of Adrian Adonis, he's 41.
Adonis was an amazingly underrated performer.
He was. Even when he let himself go, he was still very good.
He was taken way too damn soon.
Yeah, really. This is another questionable one.
To the point that if he was still working for WWE in '88, I think he would still be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
That would be nice if he was still around.
Here's another questionable one. Mickey James.
That's really questionable.
The shit that she was doing with Trish was like, holy crap.
Well, at the time, yeah, that's very true. But afterwards, going back and forth, she was. I don't remember. That's probably the only heel run I remember her for. Everything else was because that was when she was stalker crazy bitch, and now because she was a heel when she came back, and worked with Alexa, but still it was just like most of the time she's been a heel or a babyface. She's just been kind of plain.
Everyone just wants to see her spread from leg show.
Well, this is true too, but
Now here's
remember what she did at WrestleMania too.
Yeah,
that WWE wants people to forget.
Oh right,
that was hilarious. Oh dear God.
Now I know this is when he had trouble back then, so I'm putting him in this now. Jake Roberts.
Well, he deserves to. Well, he's
not on this book list, but given the time it was 2006, he has drug problems. If we had made this in today, he'd definitely be on this list.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking send something to you guys.
Okay.
Hopefully, Ty can put it on the air.
All right, well, send it.
And
let me clear some space out.
Yeah, Jake was one of those weird guys because we mostly knew him as a babyface.
There we go.
But he did start in the WWE as a heel. And then he had the shit with Honky Tonk.
What the hell?
Why am I... This looks like someone impersonating AJ Styles.
It's Billy Ray Cyrus, and someone actually asked if that's AJ Styles.
Oh,
I thought that at the top. Yes, it is.
Like, seriously, it's almost uncanny to a fault.
That's why I had to do a double take. Like, what the fuck?
What's
even worse?
You just saw the hat, didn't you?
Yes.
The hat, the beard, the.
The hair,
this real quick.
The soccer mom haircut, yeah. But
it's like if that's not AJ Styles, then at least it's AJ Styles Senior.
Oh,
that's what John likes to do. He gets be raw. Yeah, but
like seriously, the hat says Raw, and I'm like, I seriously had to double take to see that. Like, wait, what does that say?
I mean, it's like it's like we know it's not the same. We know it's not the same image that WWE uses for Raw, but still, it's just like, what? Wait a second.
Oh my God! ESPN is actually covering Kenny Omega.
Why?
Oh,
I just threw up in my mouth.
Could you send the link to the ESPN? Is it on ESPN Sports Center or is it on the website? Wait,
it's one of those ESPN articles.
Okay, because I was going to say if it was like on TV, I'm like, oh no, don't give him more exposure.
Let me see if I can fucking. Let me see if I can fucking share it. I'm on like social media duty. By the way, I got an idea. I got an idea for a heel to put on that list.
Go ahead.
And by the way, before I say that, they actually list Kenny Omega story in the WWE section.
Of course they do.
Yeah, but anyway, I got a really good heel, top heel, LeVar Ball.
Well, give it 5 years and he'll be the best heel in basketball.
Yeah.
LeVar Ball and Roger Goodell. I'll tell you, Roger Goodell, if anybody's seen the fucking NBA, not the NBA draft, if anybody's seen the NFL draft, that motherfucker just can walk on stage and get booed up by 70,000 people. Dude, not even fucking Cena or Roman Reigns could do that.
I'm like, if they need practice on how to be the ultimate modern day heel, just look at Roger Goodell. He doesn't even have to say anything, and the crowd wants him dead.
Yeah, and he knows how to egg them on too.
Or look at when Terrell Owens went to freaking San Francisco. Speaking of NFL heels.
Oh jeez.
Oh, Barry, do you know that the Cowboys player that pretty much ran down the Eagles fans?
Oh, that was great. Where he cut that heel promo during the middle of the draft. He's like, I'm damn proud I got drafted by the Cowboys. This team sucks.
And meanwhile, everybody in Philadelphia is pretty much trying to write his death sentence. Let's look at this article real quick. The next step for Kenny Omega isn't always a simple one. Well,
it's a very simple one. It's called get off a fucking television.
It takes a special kind of performer to be one of the most sought after entities in the world of wrestling, despite a grand total of 2 matches in the Western Hemisphere in the last calendar year. Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Special is fucking right. Shit.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura had a hard time developing before last. Oh wait, we're talking about Omega, aren't we?
Yes.
After all but closing the door on any match of the year discussions 4 days into 2007.
Really?
Well, all I have to say is I have to agree with Jim Cornette. Weed's legal here in California.
With his match with Okada, which Okada carried his ass all 45 minutes long. When are you going to rip that match apart? When are you two going to rip that match apart?
I want to watch it. I want to see you rip that match for 45 minutes. Good luck on that one, by the way.
Good luck staying up for all 45 minutes because I failed. I tried.
That'll be easy for those two.
I think they fell asleep. Anyway, at Wrestle Kingdom 11, you might have expected Kenny Omega to go on a tear or a victory tour, riding on that momentum, high-profile single matches all over the world. But if there's anything to be learned about Omega, his career trajectory and life in general, nothing is certain or predictable. After a few weeks after this... Huh?
No one gives a fuck about him.
Yeah, pretty much. After that impossible 6-star rating on a 5-star scale, once again, bullshit, and a one-off match in England, Omega has a grand total of 2 singles matches in New Japan. A win and a loss to
Tomohiro Ishii.
Thank you. And largely settled into a series of tag matches with various combinations of the Bull Club brethren. Yeah, because if you don't, because you leave Omega solo against, say, an average wrestler, he's going to get exposed. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Whatever static is coming through is about right in terms of what we're saying about Omega.
Yeah, it's not even white noise. It's static.
No, it's orange noise.
John, that's you.
What?
That's you.
Your static's coming through.
Static?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear what you're watching.
Oh, brother. That's it, because I could barely hear what I'm watching at all.
It's being amplified through the
Speaker.
microphone, I guess.
Oh, microphone, yeah.
Unless you hear the fan.
Well, I hear that too.
Definitely was the fan.
It was a loud noise. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah. I mean, because I heard the fan, but I'm also hearing kind of words and stuff.
Oh. Ah, fucking shit.
You all right?
Right, man?
Yeah, I almost fell off the couch.
Yeah.
Well,
that better.
What they're talking about is a possible rematch between Omega and Okada, which hopefully is not another 45 minutes.
No, it's not going to be 45 minutes. It's going to be 2 hours long.
You see, the bad part about this shit is that what's happening in July?
What's that?
G1 is coming to California.
Oh no.
Oh.
I don't know why the hell it won't go to New York.
Yeah, you want Kenny Omega to step into anywhere near Philadelphia?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I do. I want to see him killed.
Well, so would I, but oh my gosh, he'd get eaten alive. California's the safest place for him. I want to go to that thing. I want the ticket. There's still tickets available. I'm thinking about going, and the only reason why
I want to see Kenny Omega robbed as soon as he comes out of the airport.
It's LAX. It's not going to happen.
Unfortunately, you're probably not going to have that happen because LAX just announced a new private suite for people to just bypass everything that we have to do in order to get to our flight.
Oh gosh. Well,
yeah, it's its own private area that is for the definitely Kenny Omega can make it because he has a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, but there's one problem with that, Reed.
What?
He's not Reed's not. Fuck. Omega's not an American.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
He's Canadian. He's Canadian.
I don't know how much money New Japan's going to throw to give him a special VIP ticket.
No, I want to go to this. I want to go to this event, wear my jacket, and cause a bunch of heat. Open up my jacket, and there it is. You're a stupid idiot.
Because I'm sorry. I didn't say this, but I just went further down this article, and I'm seeing Kenny Omega holding a gun blade.
Wait, what? Let me go down here.
No. It wasn't a gun blade. It was a fake shotgun. He was trying. The motherfucker. You got to understand at this.
The angle looks like it does.
I know.
That's right. That's what. That was his intro for
Wrestle
Kingdom 11.
The motherfucker
he's trying to be the Terminator.
The motherfucker comes out wearing the same mask that Elijah Wood wore for Max Landis' The Death and Return of Superman to make fun of Cyborg Superman. And carries a fake firearm, which would never happen in the United States. Ever. Considering how gun crazy we are here. Just, oh gosh, it would never clear like that. Due to contractual obligations and visa issues, he won't be on the 3 stateside events, although things appear to be cleared for the G1 special events that New Japan is running. So he's not even going to wrestle in California.
What?
Show up.
So all of that, he's not even going to be able to show up.
No, he's going to show up, but he's not cleared to wrestle.
Why?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What the fuck?
This makes no sense. If you have a guy who has, and I know I'm really going to be like, sacrilege to say this, but as someone who has as much attention and charisma that people, again, is what people are going to be saying to him, not be in the ring, why even bring him over?
For advertising. People know who Kenny Omega is. They probably want to hang him up by his nutsack. But
unfortunately, some of the people I hang out admire him and don't understand how wrestling works. Which is really funny because one of the people I deal with wants to see wrestling look more like a fight, and Omega doesn't do that. Omega is a fucking spot monkey.
Oh yeah, speaking of wrestling, fucking. Did anybody catch the Canelo Chavez fight this weekend?
Oh, geez. I heard, who was, I forget who the guy was. It was basically a slaughter from what I understood.
Yeah.
He was better fighting a janitor from what I understood.
But what happened after that's like, they took a fucking page right out of pro wrestling.
What's that?
I actually went to see the fight in the theater. They literally fucking Canelo won the fight. They asked him who's fighting next. He literally said, "Triple G, I'm coming for you." The fucking arena went dark. The fucking I call it a Titantron, but I know that's not what it's called. Yeah. The fucking thing above the ring basically started showing Golovkin talking shit about Canelo. And then out comes Triple G in a fucking suit walking to the ring. And then they hype up, and then they sit there and they talk shit to each other in the ring, hyping up the fight for September 16th.
Hey, if you're going to take cues from promos, take from the best.
What boxing using a professional wrestling technique to hype a fight? No.
That's impossible.
It makes you kind of wonder if that fucking Chavez fight was rigged.
Boxing being rigged? No.
No, you don't say.
That's what I'm saying. Makes you wonder, huh? There's no such thing as a real sport anymore.
I'd still say soccer is a real sport because people will legitimately kill you in certain parts of the world for losing a match.
They'll also legitimately kill you for calling it soccer, but
football.
But
it's also called soccer European. That's where we got it from.
Yeah, I know. England did the same thing for the longest time until they started calling it football again, and they wonder what the fuck happened. We got it from them. And Japan calls it soccer still also, but no, don't you just find it and you call that a real sport? And I'm sitting here going, you know how many times people have gotten injured on the field?
Oh, flopping? Oh yeah, that's the one thing we absorb from football is flopping. Look at
These guys sell better than Mr. Perfect. Oh shit!
I was like, look at a modern day basketball match. And then people wonder why I don't exactly watch this era of sports anymore.
But it's more the fact of the matter that, and it's funny that we'll never... You see the picture I sent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, it's like, what the fuck? Remember Will's a big Cornette fan, so he might remember this.
Probably.
What did Cornette say about UFC some time back?
Oh, it's the best professional wrestling organization out there.
Not that. Basically, he said, "Where have I seen? The way they promote a fight. Where have I seen this before? Mid-Atlantic Wrestling."
Shit.
That's pretty much what they're doing here.
Yeah, they're taking all the freaking steps of wrestling. It's like, okay, these guys know how to promote. They can't do almost anything else.
Because fucking say what you will, but Mayweather and Pacquiao pretty much killed the boxing industry.
Well, that's because that was a fight everybody wanted to see, and it turned out to be a wet fart.
Yes, it did. Because everybody wanted Mayweather to get in there and box, and Mayweather did his usual shit.
It wasn't just that Mayweather. You see, this is what made Mayweather. And
speaking of which, technically he can be a heel too because
I was actually about to add Mayweather to the list of great heels because technically Mayweather is a great heel, and what's the end? And what's the end game of being a heel? To get your ass kicked by the hero.
Yeah, except he didn't. Both times.
Pretty much let out the air of the room because Pacquiao was essentially this giant hero to everybody.
Especially in the fucking Philippines.
Oh, yeah. And the fact he's actually a senator in the Philippines?
I think he's... I don't know if he stopped that or not. I think he might have stopped for the fight.
Not sure at the moment, but you look at Mayweather, all he did was just run around like a pussy around the ring, and then you see Pacquiao just go, dude, seriously?
Well,
it's like I'm sorry, it's like somebody said at the fucking theater because I had these fucking real big boxing fans behind me, and they were talking you were talking a lot during the different fights about like the different fighters and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like they pointed out, fucking all Mayweather was good for was basically he played the copy box system. He only did enough to score high on the copy box, and that's it. The rest of the time he ran around like a little bitch.
Yeah.
So
he only hit enough. He only hit enough punches that. Yeah, he only hit enough punches that he won the round in points, and that was it.
Yeah. As long as he didn't get knocked on his ass, he will win every round.
Yeah, he exposed the copy box system.
And he got close a couple times to getting knocked out because there was that one punch that you looked at and you saw it land square in the face, and his reaction was like, "Oh shit, people hit that hard."
And
I mean, I still remember that. So it's like, that's not to say that Mayweather is not a smart fighter. He is a very smart fighter for abusing the system that he did.
Yeah, that's what he did.
He abused the system. He's not an exciting fighter. And because he abused that system, he's able to claim that undefeated streak. But after many, many years, people won't remember him. Look at Muhammad Ali. Look at Tyson. Look at George Foreman.
Well, all of them had personalities.
Exactly. But they also had win-loss records.
Yeah, they all
that
lost
are not undefeated.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali eventually lost. Tyson, it was a big deal when he finally lost it, even if Tyson had that
Buster Douglas, right?
Tyson always had that aura of someone that could murder you in your sleep.
Right.
George Foreman was also a beast back in his day, and when he came back, he knocked Michael Moore's poor head off.
Yeah. Yeah. Mayweather is going to be remembered for abusing a system and being a heel in a WrestleMania ring where it took 4 guys and a loaded glove with brass knucks to take out the Big Show.
That's the fight. That's the first time the underdog was the villain. And remember, when they started that promo, he started off as the face that saved Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
And the fans booed him and booed him. And they came out with that YouTube video where he's literally counting $1 million of cash. Now people want him dead. I'm like, if you need step-by-steps of how to make a cocky, arrogant heel, Floyd Mayweather is the real-life living embodiment. Go take lessons from him.
So he definitely belongs on that list. Who else notably other than Mayweather, Omega, and I don't know.
Well, Omega's not a heel. Omega's a shit stain.
Well, yeah, but okay, go ahead.
Let me try to think of other people that belong on this list. Let's just go through all forms of sports and wrestling.
Well, I can give you a guy. I can think of a person that belongs on that list, although he wasn't a WWE guy.
Who's that?
One of the biggest heels that I can think of during the mid-'80s, Nikita Koloff.
Actually, he is on this list.
He is on the list. Holy shit! And
I saw him a couple of times, but yeah, he's on the list. Yeah, number 21. No, wait, that's Nikolai Volkov. I did see
that's Nikolai Volkov.
I did see Nikita Koloff. Let me stroll through it as you talk.
Because Koloff, remember, was writing it from Ivan, who himself also Ivan's probably on the list. Because if you want to talk about heels, shit, you want to talk about somebody that got the biggest heat for 3 weeks. You look no further than Ivan Koloff. He beat the Golden Child. He beat Bruno, and for the world title. And while it eventually went over to Pedro Morales after 3 weeks, Ivan was the guy that beat Bruno. And
no.
For some odd reason, Ken Patera's on this list.
Well, Ken Patera just looks like.
Here's the thing that's lost to history, though.
What's that?
That nobody really talks about, and I know one day people are going to forget it. Fucking Ivan Koloff, when he won that belt, he had so much heat that night. They didn't even announce that he won the belt in the Garden.
Wow!
There was no announcement that he won the belt.
And silence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, of course.
Because they knew that if they announced him as the champion, there would have been a full-blown riot.
And you're right. Yeah. And you're right. What's his name is not on the list, but Ivan
is.
Yeah. Honky's on the list, I guess, because of his Intercontinental title run.
Well, Honky.
And how much he rips off the promoters.
Say again, Lou.
Something. Say what you will about Honky. Honky was booked fucking perfectly when he was a fucking heel. You watched his ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know, Tully Blanchard's another guy who falls under that fucking thing. You wanted to see somebody whip his ass.
Which we were just talking about earlier is like, that's the end game of a heel. You're paying to see him finally get his comeuppance. Ironically, that might be one of the bigger problems with building a WWE face nowadays is there's no heel to complement them.
Yeah. And I was going to go back on... Go ahead, Lou.
That's also because everybody and their mother thinks they're an expert in the business.
Well, that's true. What do you say, Will?
Yeah. Well, I was going to go back to Nikita after Ivan. Nikita was a guy that, also basically did the same thing as Ivan did. I mean, he wasn't Russian at all, but he learned Russian and he kept the kayfabe up. That the man would talk like this all the time, no matter what. Just imagine him ordering fries and a burger at McDonald's. But the man was nuts, and he was a terror in the ring. When Dusty booked him to be the Russian Nightmare, which the best antithesis to the American Dream. Oh my gosh. I mean, he was on a tear, winning let's see here. He was 6-man tag champion, and US champion. And he was US champion as a heel before the unfortunate accident with Magnum TA. And because of that, they were able to turn him into one of the biggest baby faces out there, because thankfully, I think it was Jim Crockett Jr. and Dusty saw the fall of the Soviet Union happening before Nikolai Volkov turned babyface. Nikita turned babyface, and that was a big thing for him too. But before Nikita was a babyface, he was one of the hottest heels out there. I mean, other than maybe Nikolai, who else can you think of in the modern era that was probably one of the biggest Russian heels that was out there? Because Rusev certainly wasn't.
No.
Nikita, I still think to this day, is one of the biggest Russian heels out there.
While Rusev may get there one day, he's not nowhere near top 50, not even close. But here's one I definitely agree with. Speaking of terrors, the original Sheik.
Yes, Ed Farhat, absolutely.
Wow, no one else has any Sheik stories. Okay.
Oh, really? Because I didn't grow up around the Sheik. I grew up in the WWF territory.
That's true. Well, and the Sheik also kind of accidentally killed his territory at the end of it all, because the Sheik always, but despite being a really good heel, he always thought, much like, Jeff Jarrett would think, well, much like a lot of people in their own territories, he thought he was his own top draw. And so the way he killed his territory was he let his stuff keep going too long. Well, guess who he was going to face?
Who?
Andre the Giant.
Oh.
So they bring in Andre. And this is actually a story that Cornette talks about. I forget with who, but he talked with somebody about how Farhat killed his territory. He brings in Andre, and everyone's thinking, yeah, Andre's finally going to beat this guy. He's finally going to beat this guy. He does something. There's a DQ involved or something like that, and he gets away with it. Kills his whole territory.
Brother.
Now, here's some heel managers that are on this list, and I'm actually going in reverse order from Classy Freddie Blassie, number 5. Bobby the Brain Heenan, number 8. Who else? I saw the Grand Wizard on here. Let's just go back a few pages.
I don't know enough about the Grand Wizard.
Let me tell you something about the Grand Wizard. He was such a great heel. When they announced that he died, they cheered in the garden.
the fucking Grand Wizard, yeah.
Yeah, when they announced his death, people cheered.
Well, this is why, and here's his worst offense according to this book. The Grand Wizard masterminded the downfalls of celebrated WWE champions Bruno Sammartino and Pedro Morales, and shepherded such jerks as Stan the Man Stasiak and superstar Billy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Blassie, and Captain Lou were known as the unholy trinity of the 70s.
And this is the thing that we have to keep talking about. I keep talking about in terms of heels and kayfabe and shit like that. You can be this is a big thing to the. This is a big credit to the industry. When people die, when the wrestler or the manager dies, and people throw babies in the air because the heel died.
That's how you know you did your job.
That's how you know. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And today, because the business is as open as it is, we can't get that anymore. I mean, I don't think really we would wish ill will on fellow human beings, but on bad guys, holy shit. And I mean, like I say, there's a similar story with the other wrestler that died of a heart attack on the way to the hospital, and they announced that and they threw babies in the air. So I was talking with somebody about this, like boo them in the ring, but respect them afterwards. And I go, but that's not how the business used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be you wanted the guy to die. We were talking about a couple of weeks ago, or I don't know if we were talking about on the show. I think me and Will were talking about prepare for our own little thing, how the fans want to murder Sergeant Slaughter on his way to the match against Hulk Hogan. And when I mean murder, as in they had to have his family sent in something similar to protective custody to make sure nothing happened to them.
Slaughter was wearing bulletproof vests too. That was a big thing because of the anti-Iraq stuff going on. Well, the anti-American attitude he was professing at the time.
Yeah, he was an Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah.
And that when we talk about Vince, man, that's one of Vince's ways of getting back at Slaughter. I mean, yeah, Slaughter got the last laugh in a way. He got the fucking title. But Vince, that was basically Vince trying to kill his G.I. Joe deal and all that shit.
And Vince, and like I said, Slaughter got the last laugh. He got the title. He was one of the more memorable, hated heels at the time. And he got a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah. Even though the match was absolute shit, and I can attest to that.
We're going to talk about that one of these.
Yeah, but at the same time, it could have been worse.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been tugboat.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about a wrestler that's actually good.
Hey, no trusting Uncle Fred.
Let's talk about a wrestler let's talk about a wrestler who also is in the Hall of Fame, Stan the Lariat Hansen. Worst offense.
Stan Hansen wasn't a heel or a face. Stan Hansen just whooped people's ass.
This is true.
Yeah, but I think he's on his list for one reason. He broke
Bruno's neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Stan Hansen just whooped people's ass.
Now, here's another one that you could say you could go either way. And someone who went in the Hall of Fame, I say a couple years too late. Macho Man Randy Savage. Now, if you're talking solely the Macho King, then of course. But if you look at the whole career...
Well, and that was the thing about Macho Man, at least in the beginning. Because remember, he was a heel with a babyface manager.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting at the time. There's only one other person that pulled that off kind of decently. Unfortunately, it ended up being the birth of Sable.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember...
Wait, Mark Mirror, was it good? Wasn't Mark Mirror a good guy at first?
He started as a good guy, but when he went to the boxing gimmick as a heel, he had the babyface manager was still Sable.
Oh, right.
So Macho Man and Randy Savage and Elizabeth did it. Whoa.
And we lost John.
We lost John. Hopefully he'll come back.
I think he just fell asleep on us.
No, he's been pretty active. I think that's just a connection issue. But Savage and Elizabeth were able to pull off that dichotomy. See, he's back. And
good job, host.
Yeah,
it's
really.
not my fault.
And
why did
when
he switch off Skype sooner or later?
Huh?
We'll talk about it after the show.
We'll talk about it after the show. After Savage has turned babyface, it still worked out because he could still kind of pull the heel as shit, but now he could get away with it and people would cheer it. Kind of like the way Hogan could rake people's eyes as a babyface and people would cheer him.
Oh,
Hogan wrestled as a heel and was cheered as a babyface, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Look at the match with Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania. He did every heel trick in the book, and the fans still cheered him like he's the concrete hero.
No.
That's different.
When he was first champion, Hulk always worked like a heel. He was
remember he started as a heel.
And also remember how Jesse would always bring that shit up, though. Oh, you cheer for this guy. He's breaking the rules. He's raking people's eyes. He's choking them.
Yeah, Hulk wrestled like a heel.
And it's really funny with Ventura because Ventura would put him over like that.
Yeah, really.
In a way. And it really kind of showcases kind of the genius that Jesse Ventura was as a commentator, being a heel commentator, showcasing the obvious. Because even Vince couldn't counter some of that stuff. You go, look at him. He's raking the eyes. He's doing things he shouldn't be doing. Is that breaking the rules? Is that bad? Yes, Jesse, it's breaking the rules, but he's still on the other side. That's how it kind of was.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, in a weird way, and Lou's probably going to hate me when I say this, that's one of the ways Steve Austin got over as a face, is he broke all the rules.
Yep.
And now I'm going to say something to make him please. Another manager, a female, connected to the Macho King, of course, Sensational Sherry.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think John just came a little.
I think John just had an orgasm just a little bit.
No, not yet. But still,
not yet.
Sherry was awesome.
But Sherry was
I'll tell you something. Sherry is the woman who basically taught me almost everything about sex as a young kid.
God.
Oh God.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people will sit there. A lot of people will sit there and say, "Well, Elizabeth at SummerSlam '88 was basically when they hit puberty," but for me, it was Sherry.
Like Elizabeth was the girl you take to your mom. Sherry was the girl you took behind the bleachers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Sherry basically taught me that there's women to be loved and there's women to be laid.
Now, this guy should be much higher, but I guess you have to ask them. Go ahead, Lou.
So why'd you start doing men?
Just ignore this motherfucker.
Vader!
That and John, you just stole a line from "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucka."
I know, but it's still
it applies. But you stole the line from.
Oh boy! Anyway,
you steal everything from Cornette, so hey.
Well, yes, but at least I'm researching all that.
Vader. hey! If it's paper's research, if this is, I forget the joke. Anyway, Vader.
And to be fair, the run that he had in the WWE wasn't good.
Yeah, I know, but if you add his WCW run, he'd be a lot higher.
His WCW run and his New Japan runs, holy fuck, man! This is a monster heel of monster heels, and we wish him all the best. We really wish him all the best. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, his feud with Sting, his matches with Cactus Jack. I'm a huge Vader fan.
Absolutely.
Oh, shouldn't we plug something, by the way?
Go ahead.
Lou?
What's
that show?
Oh, that's later.
Fucking Sabu versus Vader?
Yeah, freaking PWS, Pro Wrestling Syndicate. They're going to be doing a freaking... In September, they're doing a match, first time ever, Sabu versus freaking Vader.
Yeah. That's going to be stiff.
The match that was 20 years too late.
The Potato Fest.
Yeah, it's going to be sad to see because I wish that would have happened while both guys were still able to do the amazing things they were able to do.
Yeah.
And Vader can barely walk now. I hate to say that, but you know.
And Sabu can't do shit unless he's, doing whatever. So it's kind of like neither of them can really perform.
Now this next one I'm gonna pull up is a little sad because he is definitely someone that got taken from us way too soon. Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
That one's a rough one. That one's a really rough one. Because he was really getting his start as a heel.
You talk about a guy who lived the gimmick.
Oh yeah.
I think everyone, even Reed, can remember Pillman got a gun. Okay. Anyway,
although Reed might be asleep. We don't know.
Austin 316 meets Pillman 9mm Glock.
Pretty much.
Now here's a classic.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I mean, which is really funny because in a way you kind of sympathize with Pillman because Pillman was trying to defend his house.
That's definitely one of the moments where you're like, wait, who is supposed to be the good guy here?
Yeah.
Austin is breaking into his house, threatening physical harm to a man who's already injured. Pillman has his friends surrounding his house, trying to protect his wife with a gun. And who's the villain here?
And who's the villain here? But Pillman also was pretty good Pillman as a villain was also pretty good in WCW. Particularly as part of the Hollywood Blondes, which is of course why Austin and Pillman work so well together, is because they've known each other for so long. Yeah, absolutely.
That chain that Austin wears around his neck to this day, when you see Austin,
it's still that's Pillman's chain.
Yeah, Pillman gave him that when they became a tag team.
Uh-huh.
He was like, need gold chains.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Ninja is awake.
Still fuck Austin.
Now here's a classic heel, Jerry Lawler.
Oh, geez.
Jerry Lawler falls into that Road Warrior category.
Yeah, I was going to say, are the Road Warriors in this also?
Actually, no. The only tag team wrestler of note is Mr. Fuji.
Because they were just over.
Yeah, the Road Warriors were a team you just see. You didn't want to see them kick their ass. You just saw them wanting to kick ass. You don't care who the two victims were in the ring.
Oh, my boys, who are you going to murder today? Oh, no, not again. That's just Precious Paul going, oh, no, what the fuck are they doing? Has anybody seen the New Japan or the I think it might have been All Japan. Was it New Japan or All Japan what they were in? Where they were introduced and how they came to wrestle in that particular territory in Japan? They came from space. I shit you not.
Boy.
I shit you not. They set up this 30-minute thing, this 30-minute trailer about how the Road Warriors are coming to. I want to say it's New Japan. I could be wrong.
I think I have that tape somewhere, by the way.
And they're wandering around fucking Chicago like they're the Terminator, except they have clothes. And they beat the shit out of people for some stuff, and they come across and they run into Ellering, and Ellering is carrying like raw chicken, and he tosses it to them, and that's how he befriends them. And they get in the car, they get in the convertible, the big caddy convertible, and Ellering, mind you, the narrator's speaking in Japanese, so I have no clue what the hell they're saying. But you can hear Paul going, "We're gonna make a lot of money together, boys." And they go.
The Jap. Okay.
Now I'm trying to figure out how he got his hands on the authors of pain. Do you have another bucket of chicken ready?
Another bucket.
Best of the Japanese guy pretty much said death to America.
Oh gosh, no. And what bad about it was after we went to a Gold's Gym where there was a special Road Warriors section. By the way, that was written in Japanese. And you went inside, and you're seeing these guys putting holes in plaster, like it was nothing, because it is. And oh gosh, it was just funny. There's just holes everywhere, and you're seeing animals just punch a wall and just. Oh God.
Here's a guy who, at times, we didn't want to shove something up his ass. Jimmy Hart, particularly a megaphone.
Oh, that reminds me. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
No, I have to look for something on eBay.
Oh, he has to look for a megaphone on eBay. Great.
Well, while he looks for a megaphone on eBay.
No, not a megaphone. I'm looking for something.
No,
that reminded me.
All right. Well,
Jimmy Hart. I mean, that guy had a career beyond careers. I mean, his start in Memphis was through Jerry Lawler, and remember he started as a musician.
Yep, Gentrys.
The Gentrys. They were the few. They were one of the few that were able to knock the Beatles off of the charts. And when he got involved with Jerry Lawler, Lawler said it best when he inducted Jimmy Hart.
Son of a fucking bitch.
Jerry Lawler doesn't belong in the music business, but Jimmy Hart definitely belongs in the wrestling business.
Okay, I'm seriously kicking myself right now.
Why?
Miss a thing?
Yeah, I've been looking for fucking Jimmy Hart, right? I've been looking for that Outrageous Conduct album of his for years.
Oh, geez.
And there was 2 on eBay back in February.
Both gone
and
now.
they were not that expensive either. I could have picked them up.
They're gone, aren't they?
Fucking shit. And it's the one that I was looking for too, where Jimmy Hart's in the corner with the mic and the megaphone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
All right. So who lived by this famous credo? Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
My mother.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we can add her to the list, but
this is why he's the heel, folks.
I was talking about the human orchid. Anyone else want to say before I say his name?
Gorgeous George?
Yeah.
And by the way, not to be confused with Macho Man's rat.
No, the original.
This was a fat This is a fat homosexual who came to the ring with the Macho Man music, spraying perfume all over the damn place, and throwing out bobby pins to the crowd.
And it's a fat homosexual making that statement.
He's starting to get tired of it. Shit.
Oh boy. The Saintly Bi-Curious George. That's what they said in the book.
Wow.
Who else?
But you know something? If the liberals have their way, that'll be a book one day.
One of our poster people here, they got Shiki Baby.
Well, of course, Sheiky Baby. Sheiky Baby is people love Sheiky Baby. Just don't get caught in a car driving with him because you might get pulled over.
Hey, remember when that happened? By the way,
that was the reference
on the fucking was it the Parkway or the Turnpike?
I want to say it was the Turnpike, but I don't remember. But I mean, both. While Sheiky Baby may or may not be able to recount it, Jim Duggan certainly could.
Let's contact Google, shall we? Trying to see exactly where they were caught.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
And actually, that's another guy. While he wasn't really known for his heelish ways, if you look at Mid-South in the beginning, Jim Duggan was actually a pretty good heel at the time because he was the hired gun originally for Skandor Akbar. He needed to get away from the caveman bit that eventually went to Hernandez, but and by that I mean Hercules Hernandez, not Hernandez. But eventually he became to be the hired hand for Ted DiBiase, who still looks weird without a beard, no matter what anybody says.
Yeah, brother.
And that worked really well. Go ahead.
You know how we sit here and talk about wrestlers being just delusional at times?
Yeah, we just talked about Kenny Omega.
Okay,
I was going to say.
I'm trying to find out where they were exactly arrested at. I know they're arrested in Jersey, but where? But anyway, looking through all of that, I actually found an article where Jim Duggan actually said that he would have been world champion if he didn't get busted for drugs with the Sheik.
That's probably not good. That's probably not true.
No, it's not.
He definitely would have been a good mid-card champion.
Like he probably would have been IC champion, but no, not the world.
That's
not
literally
world.
what he said.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, you have to think yourself as a world champion, but yeah,
that's true. Look at what DDP said when Dusty talked to him. If you're not, then what are you doing this for? You know, that's it.
So we talked about the Ted DiBiase. So yeah, the original rich asshole.
Well, no, the original rich asshole was Ted Turner, but
the original rich asshole WWE.
yeah. DiBiase was so good at what he did, and he obviously as a heel in Mid-South with the loaded glove against Junkyard Dog, that helped him get his start on being a heel.
And
but
if I remember right, much like the Honky Tonk Man, he came in as a born and bred Hulkamaniac good guy, and well, it didn't work out that well.
I don't remember how he got brought in.
If I remember,
because I thought the build up for DiBiase was him as the $1 Million Man.
No, he actually worked a couple matches as a face before the $1 Million Man gimmick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Houston Wrestling when they bought them out.
Oh, okay. So
it didn't work out. So they did.
Remember, I think he actually turned on Duggan at one of the shows.
He turned on Duggan, and then within like 2 weeks after that, the $1 Million Man vignette started.
Now, of course, King Hunter had to put himself on the list even in 2006.
Well, yeah, but he was hated for different reasons.
Well, he married the boss's daughter.
So how was Hunter as a heel now that essentially his career is all but over?
Well, he wasn't bad. I mean, the problem with Hunter at the time.
There's being a heel and then there's being hated. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that out while you...
No, I agree. I agree.
That's pretty much it.
Yes.
I agree. And Trips was stuck in a problematic area because he was the new guy going with a particular crowd that was protected. Let's be fair. Michaels was protected. Nash was protected. Hall was protected. Pac was protected. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to get away with some of the shit that they did.
Well, they were all probably fired and blackballed.
And Triple H was the guy that bore the brunt of the punishment with the curtain call. And so Trips being a heel doesn't bother me so much, but it's kind of like it's not so much he was a heel because his character was that way. He was a heel because of the situation he put himself or the situations that he was put in. And although I will say that the UFC borrowed from Triple H. It didn't have the I think it didn't go the way they thought it would, and they were right because of what they did. Remember when they did the first brand split? And it really wasn't. And it was a brand split. Excuse me, it was the brand split because Brock Lesnar was the world champion, the undisputed world champion, and Stephanie managed to get Brock Lesnar exclusive to SmackDown. That was a big deal. So Eric Bischoff comes out and revives the big gold belt and says that the world champion, the WWE championship is now very much in dispute. So I'm going to bring out my champion. And the champion is
Triple H.
Triple H. And I'd be damned 10 years later if they didn't do the same thing with Ronda Rousey. Except that I love Ronda Rousey. Now, I've been critical of her career since the beginning. I think she stated one time that she liked being the heel. She liked being the anti-hero, at which point my response is, that's not what a heel is.
Well, remember, she adopted the nickname. John, you all right over there?
He's tired of hearing me talk, so I'll talk some more.
I had to fucking messages. I had to answer a message from somebody on eBay.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Like, yeah, that's why she adopted the nickname of Rally Ronda.
Well, yeah, but the UFC doesn't really have. I mean, with the exception of a few, the problem is that she was viewed as the babyface, as the champion, and a misunderstanding of being the heel is that you're trying to get booed. That's your job. And Ronda didn't do that. Ronda didn't do that at all. And that could just be the nature of the business, of the mixed martial arts business. But with Trips, being handed the title is something, it's like, he doesn't deserve it. Whether he deserved it or not as to be the top heel of the company at the time, whether he deserved it or not, the presentation that they gave him to become the world heavyweight champion, as they had called it, actually is probably one of the best heel things that you could ever do. Handing somebody a title that they don't necessarily deserve. And that worked out. Okay, Lou.
All right, later.
All right, good night.
That's a big one that always sticks out in my eyes is seeing, and you wanted to see that comeuppance too. You wanted to see Triple H lose that title to somebody.
So Lou said this would probably be a good time to wrap this up, although there are a few more people I want to talk about, like Buddy Rogers, Superstar Billy Graham, JBL.
Yeah.
But now's a little ending segment real here. I said earlier, name, if you had to make a Mount Rushmore of 4 of the greatest heels you could think of, who would they be? And me and Lou already talked about this and we pretty much agreed. And if he wanted to change his mind, he'll probably do so next week. But here's mine. In no particular order, Bobby Heenan. Because no matter what you say about managers, I know you had Heenan, you had Jimmy Hart, you had Captain Lou Albano. But what put Bobby Heenan above the rest, in my opinion, was that he was the guy who got Andre the Giant, of all people, to turn against Hulk Hogan. Not to mention the whole lot of other things he did to deserve to be up there. Like, the next guy, Mr. McMahon. Can I say any more about the evil boss that everybody wanted to get his ass kicked? And plus, as we said earlier, without Batman, there's no Joker. There's no Batman without Joker. There's no Steve Austin without Mr. McMahon. The other two are pretty much self-explanatory. Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. Do we need to say any more about these two?
Nope.
Of course not.
So that's my Mount Rushmore of heels, and Jake Roberts is honorable mention. Like, he'll have a plaque next to their faces. Because he was a guy who psychologically would make even little kids cry.
Well, he knew how to do that.
Yeah.
He definitely knew how to do that.
All right. Anybody else have any ideas, or those we're all just going to those four?
There are plenty that could be added. I mean, I think a lot of the suggestions that we made pretty much cover what we did, other than maybe douchebag Dave. We may need to add him, but I don't.
The greatest heel of all time.
And I'm not talking about Batista. I'm talking about douchebag Dave. But I would add J.J. Dillon to that list.
Really?
The manager and the guy who figured out the Four Horsemen, and he was really the spokesperson, because while Flair could talk, Tully was still he was kind of getting it. He was better than the other ones. Because really, if you think about it, Ole was just, oh, I'm really tough and I'm going to kill you. Because we are the best and blah, 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 blah. Minnesota Wrecking Crew. And of course, Arn's famous, and of course, Arn's talking ability. Doesn't matter who you are. This guy. I don't know you, but still, it's not the eloquence of J.J. Dillon. It's the same thing. Bobby Heenan is to WWF or WWE as J.J. Dillon was to Mid-Atlantic.
Well,
you kind of get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
So, with that said, Bobby Heenan is leagues above J.J. Dillon, and even J.J. will tell you that. J.J. considers Bobby Heenan to be the best manager of all time. And I cannot disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. That Bobby Heenan...
Well, like I said, he had some fierce competition. Like I said, you had Cornette, you had Captain Lou, you had... I forgot the name, I just forgot.
Grand Wizard, Grand Wizard, you had... I mean, there were a ton of managers.
There were a ton of great managers. But Bobby Heenan was the gold standard.
Yeah, and he still is to this day. Even... Yeah. I mean, shit. I mean...
Years after he retired, if anyone ever wanted to come in as a heel manager, that would be the guy whose videos you look up.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have managers anymore. We have one guy who's actually a manager in the WWE these days, and that's Paul Heyman.
But he also grew up in that generation, so.
And he grew up in that generation, but he's still nowhere close to being Bobby Heenan.
I don't think Paul Heyman will ever be.
Paul Heyman right now is basically the mouthpiece for Brock Lesnar, which he needs to be. He's a good talker. But he doesn't have an alliance, and he's not really doing as many heelish things as Bobby Heenan did. I mean, who could forget Bobby Heenan screwing over the Ultimate Warrior when Rick Rude won the Intercontinental Championship?
I think you could just put the words "who can forget when Bobby Heenan screwed over"
and then you just keep going with it. Yeah. If anything,
the fact that he got fired on live TV twice
and physically thrown out the building by Gorilla Monsoon at one point.
Shit. I mean, hell, if you wanted to make if you wanted to do a Mount Rushmore of heel managers, it would be Bobby Heenan, and Bobby Heenan, and maybe there might be a mention of somebody somewhere else, but Bobby Heenan would quash that.
Actually,
oh,
I would disagree. Actually, fucking for fucking managers, I would disagree with that. It's not all Heenan. It's got to be different people.
Well, yeah, I know. I was using that as a joke to say that Heenan somehow wormed his way into getting his face 4 times. But what would you say in terms of managers?
I'm trying to find, brother.
Like, we can just sit there and list managers until your mind catches up.
No, there's one that nobody really would know. But fucking, the hell was I gonna say? Definitely Bobby needs to be on. If we're talking about fucking Rushmore managers, Bobby Heenan, J.J. Dillon. I put Jimmy Hart on there.
Okay.
And then there's another fucking manager, too. And I know a lot of people aren't going to know who he is. But to me, for everything that he fucking did, he needs to be on that fucking Mount Rushmore. And I would say even better than Captain Lou. Because without him, there probably wouldn't have been a Captain Lou. There was a guy named Bobby Davis. And he's most famous for being the manager of the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. And he was pretty much WWF's real first heel manager.
Mm.
Yeah, he managed fucking Rogers, he managed the Graham brothers, Fargo and Stevens, Killer Kowalski, Gorilla Monsoon, King Ikea, the Miller brothers, pretty much he was basically, before Grand Wizard, before Captain Lou, before Freddie Blassie became a manager, he was basically the guy. If it wasn't for Bobby Davis, there would be no heel managers.
Sure.
So Bobby Davis needs to be on that Mount Rushmore.
There you go. Now, Reed, you're still up?
Yeah.
All right.
Barely.
All right. Any four heels you can think of that would be on your personal Mount Rushmore.
Personal heels.
Since you're like the new face around, the new wrestling fan around here.
Yeah, because I don't have the knowledge you guys do.
So,
by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. Another thing with this fucking guy is, much like Paul Ellerling, he actually managed his wrestlers in real life too.
Oh, okay.
Took care of their finances, their accommodations, everything. And not many people know this, but before he died, fucking Adrian Adonis was actually being managed by Bobby Davis.
Or behind the scenes?
Yes. And because if you go on YouTube, if it's still there, when they did the report about Adrian's death, fucking Bobby Davis is on there.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I think that's the last real time I think anyone's ever seen him.
Well, hopefully
he's on there.
Well, hopefully this will be a way for at least the next dozen people to remember Bobby Davis, as no one else has. All right, Reed, from the new school, who would be, from your personal knowledge, who would be your Mount Rushmore of heels?
My Mount Rushmore of heels, just going off my knowledge of what I just know so far, I know this is going to be like a joke one, but this is because someone who actually has done something that no one would ever thought they would do. Roman Reigns, as the fact that he actually has been shown to be a babyface, but he is such a heel that he actually is like, dude, you have done something that has never been done before. People hate you more than an actual heel, and that takes some balls to do. And I know it's a joke thing, like I said, I was putting up, but let's be honest. As soon as he did The Undertaker, and then he'd come out on Raw, stand there for 10 minutes, and then just said 4 words. This is my house now. And then it's like everyone just, again, if it was Philadelphia, they would be rushing him and chopping his arms off. I know, again, it's crazy. Now, for my other heel,
yeah, he got 3 more.
Yeah, but my next heel, Vince McMahon, just because the guy give him some credit. He actually tried to actually be part of the company, like, in the ring, to show that, hey, I'm just about as sleazy as you see in the ring as I am in real life. Well, not in real life, but just because people get that opinion of him. Although, for all we know, it could be. Anyway, it worked well for having him do his heel run. Actually, what am I saying? He's always the heel for doing what he's done. And the feud with Austin, it was good. It just worked better for him actually being the heel. It's like, I'm the heel owner, so you gotta listen to me or else I fuck you and your wife. And I don't know how much my other two.
Oh, that's how I.
Yes,
actually,
John, you're right about that.
That was that was one of my discs failing. So.
Oh shit!
No. Okay, but first off, yes, Will, you had the right idea. It's like, oh no, I don't really have much to say. Just
so you have a two-faced Mount
Rushmore.
Take
a look out of your mouth, and maybe you'll actually be able to say something.
Jeez.
Like I'll just feel. If you don't have any, I'll just go fill the other two of Floyd Mayweather and Roger Goodell. But go ahead, Reed.
I'll actually put myself on that Mount Rushmore of heels.
Say again.
I would actually for that Mount Rushmore of heels, I'd put myself on there.
So you, Goodell, and for non-wrestling heels, you, Goodell, Floyd Mayweather, and Donald Trump. There you go.
Yeah.
Jeez. We're having way too much fun with this.
Yeah, really. Well, then again, that's the fun thing about being.
And actually, I'm going to add one more wrestling heel that we should all pay attention to, because he is a wrestling heel that is not a wrestler. That is the Hangman, Bruce Pobans. That's spelled DRFCHUK. Bruce.
How about
Pobans.
Nature Boy Paul Lee while we're at it?
Well, he's probably more legitimate than Bruce Pobans.
And don't forget the clowns.
So, selling his tchotchkes, as Brian Last would say.
Oh boy. I guess that's it. So I was just going through the back of this book. Yoko Ono, if you want to put it as a Mount Rushmore of non-wrestling heels.
All right.
I got a non-wrestling heel for you, but then again, he's a hero to people like me.
I already said Donald Trump.
David Duke.
Oh boy. Well, in that case, we got to add our own governor, Chris Christie.
Well, that fat motherfucker needs to stop eating.
No, keep eating. We need to accelerate his trip to the hospital so he can leave office.
Dude, this fucking guy can clean out a McDonald's and not be phased at all.
Then give him two McDonald's.
So what he needs to do is he needs to eat something California organic, and then you can send him off to Trinitas.
Oh yeah, where he
Chris Christie is the man who every time he goes out he orders Big Smoke's order.
Oh God!
Now, given that he's the governor of New Jersey, you didn't think he would be caught dead cheering for the Dallas Cowboys, right?
And by the way, thank God that he's not running again.
Oh, someone finally put a gun to his head and said, "Don't run anymore?"
We're guaranteed to have a different governor by the end of the year.
We might finally save New Jersey.
No, you won't.
Doubt it.
No, you won't.
Dude, every governor that's came as long as I've been alive has been a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, we got Christine Todd Nitwitman.
What was
fucking Florio?
Florio wasn't as bad as the other two.
And then don't forget Richard Cody, and then John Corzine, and then this fat motherfucker.
We can get some shit governors.
What was it that George Carlin said about something? Kiss her where it smells. Take her to New Jersey.
Oh. And don't even get me started on Newark. It seems like ever since the blacks got in the office over there, they've all gotten and not racist at all. I'm not trying to be. But ever since they took over because of the riots, fucking every single fucking Newark mayor so far has, except for Booker, and I'm sure it's coming, has gotten arrested or investigated for corruption. Every single one.
What was it? Marion
Remember
Barry
Sharp
one of them?
James? Holy shit!
All right. Well, I guess we talked about enough villains for one day.
I got another villain, Christian Bullwich.
Well, that's
the mayor of Elizabeth.
Well, that's our governor, mayor.
That piece of garbage.
Oh boy!
By the way, I got a quick story about. I got a quick story to end the show.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Since my other story was so popular, and this is not about me, by the way.
Oh, jeez, this is even worse.
This is about a time. It has to do with that 6-letter word we all love the most.
Your favorite 6-letter word.
Well, Johnny Blazes, but not mine. But anyway, fuck. And anyway, fucking this fucking brother fucking breaks into the mayor's house one time, and by the way, this was actually in the local town newspaper before it was swept under the rug. Fucking, he broke into the mayor's house, but he was never prosecuted, and the reason why he wasn't prosecuted is because when he was rummaging through the house, he found our mayor, Bullwich, in bed with our state senator, Raymond Lesniak. He actually caught the two in bed together, and they basically agreed. Basically, if he agreed to keep his mouth shut, they agreed not to prosecute him.
So, how many weeks is he spending in jail right now?
The fucking article itself about them being caught in bed together wasn't in the paper, but what was in the paper was about the guy being caught, burglaring the house. They didn't say why the charges were dropped, but we found out sooner after that. So yeah, we have a homosexual for a mayor. And by the way, that Raymond Lesniak, he's running for governor of New Jersey.
So he might be replacing Chris Christie.
I hope not.
Oh, God.
I hope not.
So like Sherlock Holmes to his Professor Moriarty.
But just imagine that. The fucking mayor and the state senator getting sucked off. And you're just there just to look for shit to steal. Makes you wonder what you're doing with your life, don't you?
Makes you just better go,
what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Maybe the Air Force isn't a bad idea.
I'll stick to Twitch streams. How about that?
Go follow Yellow Jacket Guy at
Twitch.tv/Yellow Jacket Guy, no spaces.
Like, where you occasionally hear me and Reed and a couple other guys jump in. Follow me on Twitch. I'm trying to see
if I can get Beam to work, by the way, so I can start streaming on the Xbox.
Cool. I also on Twitch, back on Twitch now at twitch.tv/IcemanX79. Reed is somewhere in the world. And John is at Twin Family on YouTube.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. So, for the top heels of the world, we'll probably do a babyface list one of these days.
And by the way, we need to add a few things too.
Oh, go ahead.
Fuck that owl and fuck the Bucks.
Since we already said fuck Kenny Omega with that entire article.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, if you want to by the way, quick plug to end the show. If you want to see more coon tax for yourself, you can do a Google search, or you can visit online at niggermania.net.
Oh God, that's
Will you stop? You finally got it. You finally got the Gorilla Monsoon out of me.
It has to just take once an episode. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. Please don't report our channel. We already know we're not. We already know we're not on restricted mode, so no little kiddies are gonna see this.
And by the way, fuck LeVar Ball, that piece of shit.
You kind of feel sorry for Lorenzo Ball. That's another heel, LeVar Ball.
And by the way,
he mentioned that earlier.
And by the way, quick thing, huh?
No, you
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, quick thing. This motherfucker sits there and said, and by the way, I need to give a special fuck you to this crapper called The Game. Because he sits there, he says, "Oh, I'm gonna buy the ZO2s."
Which before you continue, are $500 pair of sneakers for a guy who hasn't played 1 minute in the NBA yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And he's gonna sit there and say, "Well, I'm gonna buy these sneakers because Michael Jordan never supported the black community." Meanwhile, this is a fucking dude who's basically teaching black youth about materialism by buying 10 of them a pair of $500 sneakers, when if you really wanted to help out impoverished black youth, fucking Starburys go for $15 and he could have bought, for the price of fucking 10 of those stupid sneakers, he could have bought 300 children's sneakers. But, you know,
well, Starburys were made cheap so that the underprivileged could get a good pair of sneakers.
I know.
So when you sit down and think about it, like, and I actually saw, and I know I've meant to wrap up the show, but fuck it, we got a lot of time left anyway.
Yeah.
I saw the interview with LeVar Ball when he was talking about why he priced the sneakers at $500. In a weird sense, it was marketing genius. He's like, well, everybody's talking about it. So hence, it's working. Plus,
that's why he's only sold $150,000 worth of sneakers.
He's like, hey,
meanwhile, fuck Nike and Under Armour. By the way, his son got passed over all three major brands.
Yep.
Adidas, Nike, and fucking Under Armour.
Probably because LeVar Ball probably had some ungodly restrictions that had him go, fuck no.
Oh, well, you got to partner with our brand. And they basically told him to go fuck himself.
And he's like, well, and he had to go and say, well, Michael Jordan never had $500 sneakers when he came into the NBA.
Because he didn't need them.
He didn't need them. Michael Jordan doesn't need $500 sneakers now. He's considered one of the greatest players of all time. LeVar Ball could walk in and become the next NBA bust. He could be the NBA version of freaking, what's his name? Who's the worst?
I hope that, I mean, just to teach his father a lesson, I hope that fucking kid goes undrafted.
No, he's gonna get drafted. There's a few teams that suck enough that's willing to take the roll the dice. The worst thing you might think happened is that he becomes the NBA version of Ryan Leaf.
Oh, like the New York Knicks, which are basically the Oakland Raiders of basketball.
I was actually thinking worse, the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, at least the Brooklyn Nets actually win every now and again.
The Knicks. We could do a whole show on the Knicks, but we probably should eventually go off the air.
Dude, remember that one fucking player caused a wrestling match in the stands with security.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. The malice in the palace.
Oh, goody.
And all he was a bystander.
Yeah, it wasn't even the right guy. The right guy stood back and watched.
Yeah.
For the three people who don't know what the Malice at the Palace was, it was a game between heated rivals. I forgot the name of the player, laid down on the announce table, and a fan threw a cup of soda at him. The player got up, ran up to the bleachers, and attacked someone who he thought was the person threw the soda. It wasn't. Now, I should probably look this up to get the proper names, but people got suspended, people got fined, the guy through the soda got perma-banned from all games.
No, I was talking about the Charles Oakley situation.
Oh, I was thinking the Mouse at the Palace.
Where Nick's owner tried to have him banned from the Garden. Just because they didn't want him there.
Oh, right. Okay, is that Wikipedia's Pistons Pacers brawl? That's what it has at Wikipedia. Official. Also,
and by the way, that's another thing. You want to talk about pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Fucking look, the fucking NBA Finals. I mean, this whole NBA playoff is literally the superstars of wrestling before WrestleMania. Well, and you know what the fucking main event's going to be. It's going to be the Cavs and Warriors 3.
I thought it already was Cavs Warriors 3.
No, it hasn't been official yet. It's just a formality at this fucking... The playoffs are a formality at this fucking point.
Yeah, San Antonio won.
It's literally like the fucking... It's like a storyline straight out of fucking WWE. I mean, they're basically the NBA is doing something that Vince McMahon always wanted to do but never could. Have the same fucking main event 3 years in a row of WrestleMania. It's not for lack of trying either.
That's true.
He tried to do...
Well, that's because these are the two best teams in the freaking league.
Remember, he tried to do it with fucking Austin and Rock. He tried to do it with Hogan and Andre.
And neither worked.
Somehow I think the placement of the teams has worked too. I mean, you're basically putting the fucking Cavs and the fucking Golden State Warriors in the way you put them in, the way you seed them and put them in the fucking playoffs. It's literally like putting Hulk Hogan in a fucking room full of 4-year-olds.
You mean Hulk wondering Hogan who's going to win? Jobbers going down.
I'd be honest with you, I'd actually pay to see that. Hulk Hogan versus 200 schoolgirls.
Jeez.
But then again, my dream match that I always wanted to see was Hulk Hogan versus the entire internet wrestling community.
Will you stop? See, I had to say that.
Can you imagine? Fucking, he hits this fat fuck. Can you imagine this fucking fat fuck tries to do the RKO and Hogan gets up? You're not supposed to kick out of that. That's the finish. Fucking Hogan gives him a big boot and leg drop.
So I know we don't talk about other sports here, but this is just to cue to John's point. The Western Finals is going to be Golden State versus San Antonio, and the Eastern Finals is going to be Cleveland versus the winner of Boston versus Washington.
Oh, my butt itches.
So, yeah, unless either Boston, Washington, or San Antonio wins, it looks like it's going to be Golden State's Cleveland 3.
That reminds me of another story, by the way.
We're still playing. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sure Lewis is going to get a kick out of this one. Fucking, the other night, right? I'm doing these DVDs that I'm doing. And fucking during putting these together, I coughed and farted at the same time. And I felt something, and I looked at my underpants, so like, oh, okay, I didn't do anything. You know, it was just, I guess it was just a warning shot or something. But then when I went to scratch my butt later, all of a sudden I felt that. I was like, oh, God. What the fuck?
And I suddenly heard Super Mario.
Yeah, I basically had a message on eBay.
Ah.
I was like, oh, God.
Oh, no.
And then coming up the stairs was bad because it felt like my ass was slipping and sliding.
Ew.
And then you know what the worst part is when you try to wipe your ass after something like that?
Yeah.
You wind up getting it all over your hand.
Oh no.
That's not good. But at least I couldn't control it. I wasn't like Lewis that basically slipped on the stairs and then shit his pants as he fell on the ground.
Well, if we know you're missing next week's episode, we know what happened.
He was fucking one time. Fucking Lewis slipped on the stairs outside his house, and when he fell, he shit his pants. He had to throw everything away because he couldn't clean it. But at least I could clean my underpants.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I guess this is a good time to end the show.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. We had fun. See you next week,
And a piece of advice: if you feel like you're going to shit yourself, you probably are.
Next week, I think we do our predictions for Payback, where we get to predict how badly Shinsuke is going to beat the shit out of Dolph Ziggler.
And NXT Takeover Chicago.
Oh right, that's right. Where we predict how awesome the Itomi versus Bobby Roode match is going to be,
and we predict some of the crowd chants and how much of an asshole they're going to be. Oh, and by the way, count how many CM Punk chants we hear during both nights.
Oh god.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
Let's do an over-under on that
put
one.
A ballpark number of 20.
Let's do an over-under on that one. That way we can at least have some semblance of how many times it's been said. At least have a chance of winning.
I'm saying a ballpark number of... Actually, no, 25. Because Hideo Katami's going to get a bunch of them directly.
Because even though Punk walked out on them, they can't let him go.
And even though Tommy invented the GTS, they're going to connect it to Punk all the time.
Like a disgruntled ex-girlfriend that won't leave you alone.
Well, that'll be safe for next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.